Attention gamers. I've been playing League of Legends since before it felt like court-ordered punishment to play, which means while most of you were still little unborn tadpoles swimming around in your dad's flesh purse, I was getting to experience the dopamine that came from using Deathfire Grasp. But then on a tragic day 10 years ago, Riot provided the biggest setback to the LGBTQIA2S+ movement by essentially gutting the whole identity of this lesbian-flavored Chris Angel, and the riff slowly transitioned into the stale version of boring item anger death threat generator known as modern-day League of Legends. But all that just changed. Someone must have typed the right prompt into ChatGPT at Riot last year, because they are introducing new items that actually bring depth and creativity to this piss pit of a game, with new synergies to test and more reasons for us content creators to turn their frowns upside down. And no item is pumping blood to my groin more than Actualizer. A mana battery item that has an active effect to increase all damage, shielding and healing by 1% of your mana, which could be an even stronger buff than my long lost love of DFG. Plus it also makes your basic abilities come up 30% faster during its duration, which, to be honest, with an 8-second duration, if you use math and logic, you'll realize this doesn't really do much of anything other than sound sexy. But it's also why, while Riot is pushing for champs like Ryze and tier builders to use them, I'm looking at champs who have heal, shields and damage, and none that I found so far are better than these two. Give me that butt! So today we will be showing just how insane a 20% on demand buff to your kit can be, and we will be doing it by playing both in the bot lane. That's right, Lil Fakerette quests are in the game now, as top gets more XP, mid gets limited edition Nikes, jungle keeps their personal Pokemon, no one cares about support because support mains aren't real humans, and then ADCs get bonus passive income from all sources, which honestly is just the best. It's almost like getting paid for playing video games. Oh, but wait, anyone can do that by using buff. Picture this: you are getting absolutely shafted while watching your Yasuo, aka the reason why everyone on the enemy team is super fed, continue to embarrass himself in a game that no one will surrender. So you sit there thinking about how much of a waste of time this is, and name calling that boosted animal in chat isn't going to give you back the last 20 minutes of your life. But now, instead of feeling like it was a total waste, you have something to show for it. You see, with the free app buff you earn points simply by running it while you play your favorite games, or just games that suck but you are hopelessly addicted to, as each one offers objectives and quests that get tracked when you are playing, which ultimately earn you points. Once you have enough of these, because you sit through like 7 of these lobbies a day, you can redeem them for all kinds of gift cards like Riot points, and buff is better than ever at restocking these. As you can see, I just unlocked $10 worth of RP, which, spoiler, I just leaked the code. Congrats to the first person to pause and enter that in. But in addition to redeeming your points, you can also use them on tickets for raffles if you want a chance at winning big boy prizes. Not to mention there are free spins every few hours for even when you aren't playing games. It's free and lightweight. As you can see, it barely takes up any resources on my computer, and it's an easy way to feel a little bit less of a total waste when you get stuck in lobbies like this. So check them out with my link below and thank them for sponsoring my content. Alright, so game 1 I played Pinwheel Preston, and for those of you unaware of this pick, the strategy is essentially that of an aspiring OnlyFans girl. Early, you just run up and see how many people you can simultaneously suck off, but the downside is your support won't understand that this only works for someone with no dignity, so she gets absolutely shafted the first time she tries to hang. Then, in an attempt to show the authenticity of this pop-off as being a random autofilled support game, you see that mute moron walk up and deep throat a bind while I was finger banging my F key, just waiting for a last-minute healing touch, only to not see Handicap Henry take a celeb shot from his weaponized wheelchair, and thus on the troll as of now. But not to fear, my Teemo jungler is here, and my support may be mute, but theirs is blind, as the look on this surprised chick's face when I told her my rabbit can walk on 2 legs and spits poison at people was priceless. A bunch of flashes went down, and in the end I was just part of the supporting cast in that gank. That said, the amount of chemistry between me and my support was on par with the amount of chemistry between Asmongold and a shower, as I would run in thinking I'm peeling only for this incompetent harpist to do her best deer in the headlights impersonation, which left me in a situation where my pixie sucks weren't quite getting the job done yet. But that's okay because I soon learned that the best way for this Sona to support for me was for me to wait for her to just dangle her last 3 brain cells out in front of them until they take the bait, and then I slip into something more formal to wear to this goddamn surprise party. And I guess Jinx has a latex allergy badly because these balloon animals put her right down. I was sitting bot practically AFK, rocking a half floppy in one hand in a different galaxy, mentally waiting for the next wave to get to lane while my jungler was losing the fight for his life while trying to get our team an objective. But you know what they say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is 15 seconds after the objective was already taken, at least if you want to remain in silver like I so elegantly have for multiple years. But I'm into gingers, and as a clown my options in the dating pool are limited, so I had to put my ass on the line to show her that I am a safe place. Then I kind of paced back and forth just waiting for someone to say something racist so I could go all liberal on them and get offended on behalf of a demographic that I'm not a part of, and I did that by getting a BOGO deal on fears before flashing and hitting a pixie suck and then puckering every last straw of hay that makes up my asshole until the Vi died. And while the popular thing as a content creator to do is to edit in only your good moments to preserve your ego, I personally live to serve all the commenters who say my gameplay is painful to watch, so this one was for all of you. Then it was time for the reason Fiddle APC is so absolutely busted, and that's due to Operation Sit in Rift Pubes, where I sit in the shrubs and patiently watch my last hits go to waste until there's a good opportunity for me to pop out and announce that I had been waiting there the whole time, while thinking to myself, if I would have pushed the active on my item there I may have actually got a double kill and this video would have been slightly less clickbait. But then I remembered I'm a League YouTuber and I was born to do this, so I downloaded a bunch more PNGs of red arrows and heavy cleavage renders of League champs and then stayed true to the mission. Now my personal win condition was solely around waiting for my item and my ultimate to be off cooldown, and until then I wouldn't even make eye contact with the enemy. But of course hinting extrovert over here just had to keep running up as if she could say anything anyway, which always made me grab the mic even though I didn't have my speech fully prepared yet, and I really have to wonder if sometimes I would be better off without a support down here. But then Timo came down to give me a pep talk. He said, "Look, you horny hay bag. You are gonna sit in here and eat a morgue bind like a dipshit, and then you are gonna retreat back to the next bush where you will proceed to sit in there again. Because you play at a skill level where your rank is degrading and your enemies have room temperature IQs, they will forget they saw you go in there 3 seconds earlier and thus be surprised as all shit to see that you are here." And that's where I will double down on the surprise by spitting a bunch of carrot breath nastiness through my bamboo straw at them till they die. And that was exactly the pep talk I needed. Yeah, so absolutely screw going for last hits. This pick is all about sitting in shrubs and hitting them with the hard R, but unfortunately they did develop a kindergartner level of pattern recognition after dying to the same exact bullshit 6 times. But that's when I had to hit them with a switch up and just say screw it, I'm ulting anyways, and thanks to 20% buff damage it still knocked that anorexic dead. Then I figured I would head mid to make my viewers wonder if I'm paying Vi to act like she donated her brain to science before she was done using it, or if it's just the new season and there's more reasons than ever to give up on games that you get behind on. But either way I wasn't going to let such degenerate behavior go unpunished. Then it was just a matter of acting like I had to take a walk through the forest to clear my mind, but really I was planning the dankest surprise party. Enhanced by 2026 Deathfire Grasp active, and I've got to say there was no need for Blue Chew behind this keyboard after that one. This poor Vi truly had the mental capacity that only a mother could love, as even her father couldn't stand to see how long of a life was ahead of this chick with the deck she was apparently dealt in the intelligence department, as I was more focused on surprising Lil Sis before she got any more ideas to blow up Piltover, and that was enough for them to assemble a quitters quorum in an absolutely stomp, where I'm just hoping they were using buffs so that it wasn't a complete waste of their time. Game 2 I figured stage riding Ariana Grande would be a good fit for an item that buffs damage, heals and shields, and in case you thought my Sona was cerebrally challenged last game, just check out what this kid did when I let him out of the car seat. That said, I'm all for making up for a lack of intelligence with an abundance of aggression. That's the League player's code after all. As you can see, I fire 2 pillows into the wrong galaxy before copping an undeserved first blood and dying a shameful death to a caster minion. That said, when we got back to lane I was told that we'd be receiving a visit from Shish Kebab Sammy, and I'm all for the things I've heard he likes to do to jinx players, so I hit a Mario mushroom so that I can arrive just in time to put my name first up top on this group assignment. Then junglers are like homeless drug addicts, you give them money once and then they come to expect you will give it to them every time they see you, and so a minute later he comes back expecting a paycheck as my pike remains 0 for Sunday on doing anything of use. But I have to give it up for this jungler. Not only did he camp me like a bonfire with marshmallows, he also left all the last hits for me, which is more rare than a girl who doesn't sell titty pics online in 2026 as I get the double. I somehow find myself 2 years older than Jar Jar Binks over here, so my strategy turns into just running at them and then playing the big pink song at them when things get awkward. This plus my bald sewage covered support dashing around like an epileptic at an EDM concert, and things ended up working out pretty well. This left just their ADC, who was in desperate need of both a kill and a car, but when I saw my pike land his first skill shot ever, I had to reward such behavior by liquidating my entire investment portfolio of cooldowns onto her so that when he drew an X it would indeed mark the spot. Then the best part of playing bot lane is that if you get into a homicidal rhythm it will feel more like a tag team match for them than a 2v2, and that kind of outnumbered shenanigans can just really build some momentum at this rank. This funded my item, so then a minute later when we got into a violent pursuit of a calamari appetizer I ulted and then activated it to give me just a little more zest on my shield in case Pike was introduced to their tower in the process. We came out with no scratches, and then all of a sudden it was like my support's older brother finally came back to the computer and kicked him off because he randomly looked like he knew what his abilities did and we were profiting. I then ran mid, and upon seeing my fisherman of a support catch a wild wind shitter, I didn't have an ult to contribute to the party, plus I figured he would just airbend a wind wall the second I threw shit at him, so I opted to back out until Sammy and his giant sport came in, so I activated 20% damage buff and hit a large executing Q for the kill. We then got word that their Jinx had the false understanding that she could actually leave her base, so I had to put an end to that real quick by activating my new favorite item and then showing that without even 3 items on Seraphine I could one combo her from full health. And thus we kind of just marched in there and won. So with it I just want to say I think this item was made for a champ like Fiddle. Some supports like Sona or Sona 2.0 are fun, but get on that hay bag and try it out for yourself. Brush your teeth tonight, Rav out.